and let her decide if we're taking more questions. But I want to thank everybody on the panel tonight, not just for being here, but for the reviews. Special thanks to Spencer. I know it wasn't easy to come up here in front of this crowd and talk about your past, and I appreciate that, and I wish you all the best as you move forward. Campaign?
Thank you, and thank you for all coming out today. As I mentioned earlier, we definitely wanted to give everybody a fair opportunity to talk about their role in the process. And so while it may seem we might have favored one side over the other, this was truly an attempt to give everybody, from advocate to active participant, first person, to give everybody an opportunity to speak. With that, and I thank you, Lisa, for applauding and encouraging Spencer. October is Youth Justice Awareness Month. Our mayor kicked it off by saying that Pensacola is now adopting that. And so I would ask you to heed two things for tonight. One, that these are young people we're talking about. And so while they could have committed very egregious crimes, they are young people. And God forbid we were all held accountable for the things that we did before we turned 18. I don't think we'd be sitting here today if we were all held eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, if that wasn't truly the case. And with that, I would also ask you, when Spencer gets up, we promised him that he would not have to talk about exactly what he did. I think he's entitled to that level of privacy. If you want to know what Pathways for Change has done for him, I'm sure he'll talk about that. But he served his time to society, to this community. He has turned his life around. I think that's very clear. And I don't think he owes any of us a recount of the things that led to what he was charged with. I don't think he owes us that. And so I just wanted to put that out there because I don't want people to bum rush him at the end of this and go, but what did you really do? And what did the victim say? We're not going to do that. At least not in my presence, because I'm going to be a bully and an ally all at the same time and keep folks away from him. Secondly, I would say that we talked about a system, and thank you, Paula, for starting us off with that. And so the state attorneys have to do what they are constitutionally entitled to do. Right now, the laws say that they can do what they do. If you don't like it, we need to tell people who create the laws to change it. That's how we fix it. It's not saying that they're bad people. I don't think either one of them are bad people. I don't think either one of them are racist. But the system is set up in a way that is disproportionately impacting certain populations of society, and that they are simply doing what the law has allowed them to do. So if we don't like it, there's a pathways for changing that. Lastly, I would say, key the name, right? No pun intended. Lastly, I would say that this system, whether you like it or not, whether you believe that it's the just way to do it, is expensive. It's very, very expensive. And no one talked about that tonight. But I'm sure that if anybody wanted to pull any one of these panelists to talk about what does it cost to house a young person in our county jail. In fact, our county is one of the few counties that continues to discuss privatizing our jail and moving children out of the Department of Juvenile Justice into our local jails. And that has nothing to do with the state attorney's office. So don't come ask them that question. We need to get the sheriff on the panel to talk about that and our county commissioners. But nonetheless, from the very onset of pre-trial to even,
I'd like to talk about it.
Okay.
There are certain processes that are, my name is Doug Underhill. I am one of those county commissioners you're talking about for District 2. There are certain processes that are inherently governmental functions. Going to war, for example, if you kill somebody in war, and within those rules of engagement, then we celebrate those folks. Those are heroes. If you kill somebody outside of a war,
you're okay.
Just give me clear instructions. You kill somebody outside of a war, then that's called murder. Incarcerating your fellow citizens is an inherently governmental function. It cannot be delegated out. It cannot be done on a for-profit basis. If you ever get into a position where you are incarcerating other citizens on a for-profit basis, then you are incentivizing an undesirable behavior, which means you are going to incarcerate more citizens. So You said there, Keontae, that this is something that's still being discussed in Escambia County. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not being discussed on our dais. I don't think there's a single person that's sitting on that dais now that will even entertain the idea. And I can assure you, one thing you have to understand about Board of County Commissioner math is 3 equals 5 and 2 equals 0. Okay, there darn sure are not 3 people up there who will even entertain a discussion about a for-profit jail.
Thank you for clearing that up for us, because we at the ACLU get phone calls to something different. So that's why we need conversations like this, so we can get answers. But nevertheless, whether we're talking about pretrial detention or where children are incarcerated, it is a very expensive process, and I think we can figure out a better way to have accountability and be more cost effective of our tax dollars. And actually rehabilitate children, because I've had the opportunity to talk to wardens who will say, my job is not rehabilitation. In the Department of Correction, my job is punishment for the length of time they are sentenced to be here. The Department of Juvenile Justice, in its very nature and its charging documents, talks about rehabilitation. And so we have to start holding folks accountable, especially to, as they say, that bottom line, and doing it in a way that spends our money more efficiently and effectively in our society. I think those are all of my notes. We do have to get out of here, and so while I would love to continue to prolong this conversation, if anyone has follow-up questions, I think our panelists will be around for just a bit to answer those, but we've got to get out of here. Thank you to all of you for coming. Thank you for Franco's, hold on one second, for hosting us. Thank you to the Coffee Party, the League of Women Voters, the ACLU, the Escambia Youth Justice Coalition, and the Southern Poverty Law Center for bringing us all together tonight.